At the start of 2022, Sea of Thieves released a preview event telling us what to expect for the following year. Now, almost 2 years later, I wanted to look back and see if we were able to live up to their promises. At the time of the preview event being launched, we were in Season 5. As we can see from the roadmap, we were told to expect a new season every 3 months, with Season 6 in March, Season 7 in June, Season 8 in September, and Season 9 in December. With Season 6, we were told that we would be getting Sea Forts and new exclusive Pirate Legend content, which we did receive, well, kinda. With the release of Season 6, we did get Sea Forts, 5 brand new forts designed to be quick, easy, and rewarding for new players. The Sea Forts were a very good addition to Sea of Thieves as they do serve the intended purpose well. Unfortunately, the new Pirate Legend Voyages weren't released with Season 6. We had to wait another month and a half to receive this update, with the initial release of Season 6 being on the 10th of March, and the release of the new Pirate Legend Voyages not being until April 21st. But despite being a month and a half late, they were still a pretty good addition to Sea of Thieves, with new Athena loot being added that you were able to receive from completing these voyages. Something else that happened in Season 6 was a closing of Arena mode. To many players this was pretty upsetting, but due to the developers' resources they ended up deciding to prioritise their efforts and closing this mode down permanently, never to be seen again. This of course made all commendations, titles, cosmetics and any rewards that were obtainable in Arena mode pretty rare. Season 7 is where Rare started struggling in terms of meeting expectations and fulfilling their promises. Season 7 started off launching 2 months late. With the proposed launch date to be in June, it wasn't actually released until August 4th. Not only was the season late, but to a lot of the player base it was also a partial letdown, with the promise being that we would have new ways to play and progress in Sea of Thieves. This was given to us in the form of captained ships that you could purchase for substantial amounts of gold, with the perks of being able to name your ship and have an enemy see your ship's name by simply looking at it. When it comes to progression, the captained ships were given their own set of milestones and achievements, but for a season that was 2 months overdue, this season definitely did not meet expectations, and to a lot of the players and content creators this season became pretty stagnant and boring pretty quickly. Season 8. Now, although Season 8 was also 2 months late releasing, as it released at the end of November instead of September, at least it was only 3 months between seasons, and unlike Season 7, Season 8 was actually a super cool update that compensated for that removal of Arena. It added 2 new PvP factions between the Guardians of Fortune to represent Athena and the Servants of the Flame to represent Reaper Bones. This addition came in the form of an on-demand PvP mode where you choose who you want to represent and level up that faction, earning different rewards, with the main rewards being a curse from each participating faction, with a Guardians of Fortune curse and a Servants of the Flame curse. These are both beautiful curses which really do display skills, as the grind to receive these curses is faction level 1000 in either faction. The only downside to this update was that level 100 for Guardians of Fortune re-released the Season 1 Athena curse that was rewarded for reaching renown level 100 in the first release season. And to the players who weren't around for Season 1, this was great, you know, they loved it. But to the loyal players who grinded for that curse back in Season 1, it kind of felt like a big stuff year from Rare and the development team. But despite that, Season 8 was awesome and content packed, especially when I personally didn't have high hopes or expectations, as we were told we were getting expanded roleplay and quest types. Now, Season 9 started off being 4 months late and released 5 months after Season 8, meaning that the Season 8 content also started becoming stagnant and boring for a lot of players. And unlike Season 8, Season 9 didn't really add a whole lot. We were told we would have new social options for crews, which is completely up to your own interpretation on what that could have been. Instead, it was an entire season based on world event rebalancing. A new chest called the Chest of Fortune was introduced as an incentive to get people to participate in the Fort of Fortune. Alongside this was the Fate of Fortune ship set to unlock, which, don't get me wrong, is a really nice cosmetic set, but an entire season to unlock a ship set? Now, at the time I wasn't too worried because surely Season 10 wouldn't be too far away, but Season 10 was the longest season to release yet, with a massive 8 months in between Season 9 and Season 10. And to say that the community has not been happy is an understatement, with comments being made like, "I love this game, huge fan of it," and Rare, but we waited too long for this. It's underwhelming. Hopefully it means the devs had a healthy work environment and slept for a good 8 hours every day. Or another comment saying, "Don't understand how such a grand milestone Season 10 was meant to be turned into this." Or one more comment saying, "We waited a year just for them to add group chats into the game." Love it. Because that's all Season 10 really is. So did Rare actually live up to their promises? Well, out of 5 seasons since the preview event, I'd say confidently that only 2 of them were actually good. And with being months behind schedule, it raises questions in terms of the development's commitment to the overall game and player base. Do they actually care about the future of the game? And sure, those 2 seasons were cool, but good content is nothing if you don't have a stable server to play the game on. The truth is that while the game has improved considerably, Rare is still using Microsoft Azure servers that aren't even designed for gaming, and the game still lacks a stable and reliable player versus player bullet system. Without real servers, every time they add content to Sea of Thieves, the server performance and reliability of the combat system decreases. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below.